Just another Freaky Friday here on the Fan. Evan and Tiki, there is plenty to discuss. Steve Cohen says he's not tone deaf. After I listened to Hal Steinbrenner speak, I had a completely different opinion than what I read, what Hal Steinbrenner said. We'll address all of that later on, plus what this new salary cap means for both the New York Giants and the New York Jets. But last night, I was a good little New York sports fan. I sat down on my couch. I watched the Islanders give up 3 goals in 52 seconds. I watched the Brooklyn Nets quit on a brand new head coach. I watched the New York Knicks, as I successfully told you they would, beat the crap out of the Philadelphia 76ers. But then I also saw something else. And I'm not talking about the physical assault we saw on the ice. We'll get into that later, because that's disgusting. But we saw the New York Rangers do something that deserves all of our attention. Okay? I'm going to be honest. I mean, I like the Rangers, but I'm an honest guy. And sometimes in this town, it's too much negativity. We got to speak with positivity. Last night, the New York Rangers, against an arch rival, against a team that ended their season last year, walked their asses in a Prudential Center. They took over the building, and they whipped the Devils' tuckuses all night long. To the point, and I thought this was disgusting, that a young child was crying over it, and it became a meme on social media, which I got a problem with. So, Ranger fans, I want to make peace with you by saying I am deeply impressed by your winning streak. I am deeply impressed by the way your team has played this season. I throw you all the flowers. You are 1 win away from tying the longest winning streak in the proud history of the New York Rangers. So I want to commend the Blue Shirts for the streak that they're on. Congratulations. You won your February Stanley Cup on a Sunday. You backed it up with back-to-back wins. You beat the crap out of the Devils. I commend the New York Rangers. But.
Oh, God. You knew it was coming.
No. I mean, it's a friendly but.
Okay.
A very friendly but. And I hope that every single person who roots for the Rangers as a casual fan or a diehard fan hears me, understands me, because you know what I'm about to say is the God-honest truth. It is not mean. It is not a threat. I'm not minimizing anything. I just want to make it perfectly clear that we are all on the same page. You guys are really, really good. And that's why if you're not hoisting Lord Stanley's Cup in the middle of June, this season was a disaster. And I want you to recognize that. I want you to enjoy the winning streak. I want you to have a good time, just not beating up Devil fans like I saw last night. You should have all the fun in the world. But understand that you've entered a new universe, a universe that you sort of remember. It was like the universe you were in 2013 and 2014 and 2015, when you guys perennially would go to the conference finals, when you guys went to a Stanley Cup final. But remember this, you won crap back then. And now, with a brand new head coach, and one thing we know about your coaches, they only last a couple of years because then they're like milk. They expire and you get rid of them. You better freaking win the cup. If you don't, this season was a waste of time and a disaster.
What? I mean, waste of time?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Disaster?
Yeah.
Okay. Winning a Stanley Cup is hard. We know that. You know that.
Yeah.
Sean knows that. Hell, Ranger fans know that. It's been a lot of years. 30 to be exact.
I didn't have a single pubic hair yet.
Exactly. It's been a lot of years. So to declare that because they've had some recent success, that if they don't win a championship, the season is a failure is asinine.
Oh, no.
Dude,
No.
Anything can happen between now and when the playoffs start. Someone could get hurt.
Oh, stop.
Or something could, the good luck, the good charm that they're feeling right now could just go away. And instead of being on a 10-game or 9-game winning streak, they could be on a 8-game losing streak. Mm-hmm. And then what would be your expectation then? Just make the playoffs, Rangers. Right? You can't make that declaration because the players aren't making that declaration. The players feel really good about themselves right now. They feel a ton of confidence in themselves right now. They believe, just like when they beat the Islanders on Sunday, that if no matter what happens, we can find a way to come back and win a game. That doesn't mean they're going to win the Stanley Cup. That's a little accelerated.
No.
Hyperbole.
No.
I mean, that sounds like Jetty and hype to start a season.
No.
I mean, what are you even talking about?
Here's
Evan?
what it is, and I think some Ranger fans can understand this. When you are the New York Yankees, especially in the early to mid 2000s, certainly the late 90s, you went into seasons knowing you're going to be good. But you knew if you didn't win a World Series, even if it was Game 7 of the World Series where you came up small like 2001, you would look at the season and say it was a failure. Well, congratulations to the Ranger fans out there, because here's the truth. You guys, after your quick on-the-fly rebuild, you rebuilt your team. You did it damn impressively. You moved on from the Henrik Lundqvist era. You only missed the playoffs twice. Then you made it in that Fugazi year. Then you missed it again. And you rebuilt yourself into this. A team that was in the conference finals 2 years ago. A team that's may win the President's Trophy this year. Like, you guys are literally really, really good. And when you are that good and you have high expectations, you better win.
Okay, hold on, Ev.
And in the mid-2000s, when they were in the playoffs every year in the Henrik Lundqvist era, there came a moment where that became fact. We better win. And you didn't. It's why when you look back at the Henrik Lundqvist era, you say, yeah, it was a lot of fun, but overall it was a failure. It was like the Patrick Ewing era.
Okay, but
eventually you have to win.
So why is that back now? Why
because
are we
good.
less than a decade later?
Because you're good.
Saying the same thing. They're not perennially, the favorite to win the Stanley Cup. They're not the team that everybody feared coming into this season. The expectation has slowly grown. It's not
stop.
like they were
in the
sitting on
conference finals 2 years ago.
But last year we saw what happened as
and
well.
last year they flamed out in the first round after they were up 2-0, and every cocky Ranger fan, yes, I'm talking to you, Sean, thought it was over. Like, the expectation game is high. You better win.
Were they the favorite?
In that series?
No, I'm talking about when the season started this year. Were they the favorite?
No,
the answer is no.
Were they the 10th favorite?
Exactly. Were they 2 years ago? Probably not. It was probably still the Tampa Bay Lightning and Coop down there who masterfully find ways to win cups and cups and cups. So I don't think the Rangers are in this category with the Yankees. This is Yankees. This is your New York loser team. Troll job coming to light again.
No.
It happens every single season. And every single sport.
No.
You find a way to troll the team that you don't like.
I'm not trolling them.
You did this with the Giants. If the Giants don't get to the NFC Championship game, they took a step forward last year. If they don't take another step, then the season's a failure. If the Knicks don't get to the conference finals, the season's a failure. If the Rangers don't even get to the finals, don't win the cup, the season's a failure.
Yes.
What the hell are you talking about?
I wish I had teams that were that good, where I could have that attitude.
See, this is what happens when your teams aren't good. You're delusional.
It's not delusional.
You have fantasies that float in your mind, and you can't help but spew them, even though they make no damn sense.
Tiki, the Rangers are a win away
from
tying their longest winning streak in franchise history.
But what does that even mean?
What does it mean? It means it's one of the best temes they've had.
When was that winning streak again?
Which one?
The longest winning streak.
They did 9 a couple of times, including in 1940 when they won the Stanley Cup.
Lovely. Okay, so more recent?
Okay, I'll give you the answers. Yes, in 1973, they won 10 in a row.
Okay, so more recent?
And the 9-game winning streaks happened in 2016, a year in which they actually got knocked out in the first round, believe it or not.
Okay.
And then also 1974, and in 1975, they won 8 in a row.
Nothing recent except for 2016. So what is a 9-game, soon to be maybe 10, maybe 11, maybe 12, maybe 15-game winning? What does that mean?
What does it mean? It means they're a damn good team.
To Lord Stanley, it means Jack Buckus. It means nothing.
It means this team is good, and when you're good, you raise your expectations. Why is that being haterific?
You know this. This is not like football, where it's a single-game tournament and anything can happen. In hockey, it's 28 games, or potentially 28 games. It's a lot of postseason hockey.
So based on that logic, I get it.
It's damn near a third of the season.
I understand how long and arduous the NHL playoffs are, and I get that, and I respect that. Is that your way of telling me that no hockey team can ever have a season in which it's championship or bust?
Of course they can.
Well, they're good enough to enter that stratosphere.
Peter Laviolette is just here.
Yeah, well, guess what? Ranger coaches last 2 to 3 years, then they're gone.
Okay, so he comes in first year. They have a 10-game winning streak in the back third of the season, and if they don't win a championship, it's a failure.
Well, but guess what? And here's the beauty. I know a history, and so does Sean, and so does every Ranger
well,
fan.
hold on, let me ask
Alain Vigneault's first year here, what'd they do? I forgot. Do you remember what he did in their first year?
Was that the year they made the cup?
That was the year they made the Stanley Cup final. Sometimes, especially in this sport, when you change coaches like you're changing underwear, you better hit. And right now, it's hitting with Peter Laviolette. Right now, it's hitting with this Ranger team.
Right.
I'm complimenting you guys.
Okay.
Why am I a hater now?
Resident Ranger fan, because not me, I'm a Devils fan. Got my ass kicked last night.
Yeah. How'd you like them apples?
And that kid is my godson that you're making fun of.
I wasn't making fun of him. I was making fun of...
It's not even cool. Chase Fitzpatrick.
Wait, so is the kid who was crying is your godson?
It is.
So there's a kid that's become a meme. And
There's a randomness to my life that doesn't make any sense.
No, I know. So last night, as you may know, the Rangers destroyed the Devils in New Jersey. They took over the building and all that, blah, 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 blah. And there was this very young Devil fan who was caught crying. And I felt bad for him. That'd be like me if I was a kid.
Yes.
And there's a picture of him, and it seems like Ranger fans are kind of having fun making fun of the crying kid because the Rangers beat up the New Jersey
Stop
Devils.
it, Ranger fans.
And that crying
taking
kid
offense.
is Tiki Barber's godson.
Chase. I feel bad for Chase.
I'm sorry, Chase.
Exactly.
Those
All right,
Ranger fans are
resident
disgusting.
Ranger fan.
Yes.
Yes,
Is this
President.
team, is
football
this,
player.
is this team good enough to win a Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this team going to win a Stanley Cup?
Yeah. No, hold on. Now, hold on. Tiki, you're both right and wrong about something.
killing me.
With Evan, there is always an obvious troll job. And the truth is, Evan, in his heart of hearts, doesn't think they're good enough to win a Stanley Cup. He doesn't think they will win a Stanley Cup. So he does want to set this whole thing up to laugh later. So you're right about that. But here's where Evan's getting caught with his pants down.
Uh-oh.
And we don't know if it's as hairy as his face. The truth is, you watch this team hum along on this win streak right now, and they had a great win streak to start the year. They hired a Stanley Cup winning head coach. The trade deadline's coming up. They're going to have to make one, if not two moves. They are a point back from being the best team in hockey, and they are displaying all the intangibles, including their goalie getting red hot, that it takes. And the truth is, we have loseritis in this town. We cannot envision or actually picture any of our teams winning a championship. A smidge for the Yankees because we still picture the hat and the dynasty and all of that stuff. We have to shake loseritis. When you look up and down the NHL right now, the Rangers have as good a chance as anybody. And you know what? Evan's right about something. They've knocked on the door during the Lundqvist era and they're in the Shesterkin era. How many conference final trips you need to make? They were up 2-0 in the conference finals 2 years ago. It's not good enough anymore. This is the spring, 30 years removed from 1994. 30 years, a long freaking time.
I thought I was like helping you. I thought I was defending you.
You know what?
You're over here siding with the troll.
I know, because you know what? Sometimes the troll needs to get knocked back and realize what he's trolling about is going to come back to bite him. I'm with him. I'm tired of seeing just trips to the conference final. This team's good enough. Cash in now.
But at least tell me that if they don't, say they fall short in the second round or the conference final.
Can't be the second round.
All right, whatever. Conference final. They lose 7 games. It's epic. Oh, they just fall just short.
The season's for naught.
It's not a failure.
It is a failure.
Thank you.
It is a failure because I've seen too many conference final losses
Exactly.
now.
I was going to say, in 2015, and that's the year after you guys went to the Cup final, you went back to the conference finals. You played a 7-game series against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and you lost the game 7. And there was no Ranger fan who walked around those following days and said, well, you know what? We had 113 points. We got to the 7th game of the conference finals. I remember that winning streak during the regular season. Not a damn person said it. This is big boy time. The Rangers are good. You could take it as a troll as much as you want. They're legitimately good. And I've been around here for a long damn time. I've watched a lot of Ranger playoff runs. I've seen how many conference final runs. We've seen one Stanley Cup run. But I've also seen them in the playoffs countless times. And they've won nothing. Nothing.
And Evan's point, we got a lot of teams in this town and a lot of loseritis over at least the last decade. This is absolutely our best chance at a championship team here. And like BT screamed about after the Rodgers injury, we need to stop walking around here like a bunch of losers and embrace the expectations and embrace that you're allowed to feel like a failed season if you don't get the ultimate goal done.
Thank you, Sean. Spot on analysis by the diehard Ranger fan. Big boy pants are on today.
Big boy pants.
We win the Cup or we riot. Not really. We win the Cup or this season was a failure. And that's what the Yankee fan normally used to think. That's what I wish the Jet fan was thinking after a 12-win year with Aaron Rodgers. We better win. It was the same thing in the Durant era that lasted 5 minutes. We better win. See, you take this as a troll. You take this as I'm being a jerk. No, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm a Ranger fan. I'm not going to tell you I'm rooting for it to happen. But I appreciate what's going on. I appreciate that this team has won 9 in a row. I appreciate that they're on the doorstep Saturday in Philadelphia of matching the longest winning streak in franchise history. And if they do it, they got back-to-back games against that crappy team from Columbus. They may extend it. They may have the longest winning streak in the history of this franchise. And you're going to tell me, you know what? Maybe you get unlucky in April and you don't get puck luck. My ass. Time to win. Time to win. You're welcome, Ranger fans. I'm here for you.
I can't even give you your sister's ass. You're right,
I'm
Evan.
telling you.
Now, can I say something to piss all you guys off now?
Here we go.
I'm just waiting for it.
No. I want to get a quick thought on last night's game.
Okay.
This Matt Rempe's got to be stopped.
Oh, stop.
This 7-foot slug.
He couldn't help it.
Couldn't help it. This Matt Rempe.
He's 6'7".
I don't want to hear
He's
it.
6'9.5".
Matt,
He's 6'10" on skates.
I don't give a damn if he's 9'12". He bloodied Bastion yesterday. And by the way, he went elbow to the head, and he was only on the ice for like 9 seconds. This guy, Rempe, okay, has played 5 minutes of hockey in the NHL. He has served how many penalty minutes now, Sean?
I think it's 15 minutes of penalty time, 9 minutes of ice time.
I mean, what are we talking about here?
Right.
Like, can a warrant be put
Legend.
out for this man's arrest already?
No.
He's physically assaulting a guy on the ice. He's bloodied all over the place. I felt bad for the kids who were at the arena last night.
Oh, toughen up, Buttercup.
What?
This is hockey.
Maybe
He's
that's
brought
why
in here.
Chase was crying.
Yeah, he didn't want to get hit either. It's the same thing with Aaron Judge's strike zone. When you're that tall, I'm sorry, grow a little, or your head's going to get hit by an elbow.
Oh, no. Wait, so Matt Rempe shouldn't have been penalized yesterday?
He should have been thrown out. You want to give him a 2-minute
Of course
roasting?
he should have been thrown. He should be suspended 10 games.
he shouldn't
like,
be.
I'll admit, I'm being hyperbolic with the arrested. I will take that back, because
Right.
obviously he shouldn't be
He's
arrested.
just a big guy. I
But-
get it.
What do you mean? You get it? He
Because
elbowed the guy in the
okay,
head.
but it's hard for him to get low enough to not hit the guy.
So what
in
does
the
that
head.
mean? He's allowed to elbow people in the head?
No, he's just got to be more aware of when he leads with his elbows.
So then you can tell me all day he's tall and he's big and he's strong. He elbowed a man in the head and he bloodied himself all over the ice. And your guy's excuse is, well, he's tall. What can he do?
Yeah.
Because if he was shorter, he wouldn't have elbowed him in the head. It was a clean hit. Size played a factor.
It was
It's
not
like Altuve being short. His
Sean,
strike's so small.
to your numbers, Sean, 13 seconds of ice time last night.
Yeah.
5-minute major.
Yeah. He was the real-life movie Slapshot.
No. Now I'm actually getting very worked up. I'm getting triggered. It was not a clean hit, dude.
Yes,
he
it was.
elbowed. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't like he
His
ran in and
elbow
wanted
went
to
in-
elbow him. His elbow is the same height
I'm
as
looking at it
Bastion's
now.
head, dude.
It's just right there. He's not trying to.
If he was not 6'7", he doesn't elbow him in the head.
Doesn't
Flat out.
matter.
It does
Did
matter.
the elbow hit him in the head?
And I'm the Devils
Yes.
fan here, and I'm defending him.
You're defending him based on his height. That's ridiculous.
So he should never be able to crash at anybody in the boards because he's 6'7". Otherwise, he's always going to hit a shorter guy in the head.
Well, he
Like,
can't
that's
elbow-
not fair.
he can't elbow a
should
guy in the
not-
head.
He should not have to play by different rules. That's heightism, dude, and that's wrong of you.
shut
You should feel a lot of shame for that.
I don't feel shame
You
for
should
that.
feel shame of that. You came after fat Ranger fans to start the week, and you're ending the week coming after tall Ranger players.
Dude, all
you have
this-
a lot of problem with fat and height.
All this guy does is fight with people.
Just
like
because
that's
he
li-
beat
and that's
up
fine,
Matt
by the
Martin
way.
on Sunday.
Well, Matt did him a favor. He put him over. That's a different story. To elbow Bastion in the face, and for you to say, "Well, he's tall. What could you do?" Like that's ridiculous.
You know what? We've seen a lot of conference final losses. You know what I want right now? People being intimidated to play the Rangers. You don't want to go on the boards versus Matt Rempe. Let's go.
We'll
We
get
want
your
you scared.
We'll get your calls next. 877-337-6666. That's the toll-free telephone number. Also, we saw a real life fight in the stands of last night's game that featured a move I did not see coming. And I also didn't see where the fight would occur coming. There was a big fight between a Devil fan and a Ranger fan, and it wasn't in the upper level of Prudential Center. It was 2 rows off the ice, which is so not common because usually that's where the rich folk is, and they don't fight. They send someone else to fight usually.
They sold their tickets to Ranger fans.
That
That's
may
what
have been
happened.
it. We'll get to that coming up live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire, nobody. But I don't think it's me being a troll or me being mean. It's the reality of rooting for a really, really good team. If you don't win the cup, this season was a colossal failure.